So, without any further waffle, I guess we need to invite our first speaker to join us. And our first speaker, I'm just checking my phone to make sure I'm not being told he's not available, and it seems he is available, is James Ford. So James, if I can ask you to switch your camera on.
There you go, Ed. Morning all.
Oh, wow, he made it. Well done, James. Thank you. That was by the skin of your teeth, wasn't it? But we won't tell anyone how close that was. Good. James, welcome to the virtual briefing. I want to start by just making sure everyone gets the context. So you're from the Solent LEP. Can you tell us a bit about what that is and what you guys have been up to recently?
Yeah, no, definitely. So morning, everyone. I would say great to see you all, but I suppose I need to say welcome to my house is probably a little bit more appropriate. So the LEP, I suppose why we're involved. So the LEP has been involved since the beginning of Venturefest. We've involved to make the event happen. Our interest, we want to excite the region. We want to guys the region. We want people to collaborate. We want people to come together. We want people to make it happen. But all of you people, plus others, at a later point, we want to unlock potential in the region. Education. So many people are. Look at the other partners. Look at some of the other speakers that are going to go a bit later. Bringing all these people together. That is very much our goal in making it happen.
Okay. Now, just as a heads up, James, your sound is not brilliant. So if it keeps being awful, I'll give you another heads up. But hopefully it will recover as we move forward. I remember sitting on the board of Venturefest South right at the beginning of Solent LEP, and it being a really exciting time for us to do something really positive, and it remains exactly the same. Venturefest South is an event for your organisation, mine, and the rest of the partners to try and express how we can support the innovation and entrepreneurial economy. And now more than ever, they need that support. We all need that support. So how's it been going over the last 6 months? I think what's actually been put in place from your guys' point of view?
Yeah. So as it has been challenging to everybody, including ourselves. Most support businesses out there. What everyone's been having to do, and how everyone's been having to adapt. Some of you may see one of my colleagues is in the chat, and hopefully we'll be posting up a few links. But one of the things that we launched this week was our economic recovery plan. So well worth everybody taking a look. I've pulled out a few bits that I think might be interested to to some of the audience around some of the key priorities coming out of the economic recovery plan. So a couple of them being looking for new pioneering approaches to climate change and decarbonisation. So where are the innovations? What can we bring forward to make that happen locally in the region? Creating a thriving visitor and cultural economy. What's the opportunities? How can we work together? How do we promote innovation in them types of sectors? There's a lot of different things going on, and something that really fits well with this event certainly is how do we create an outstanding business environment? What does that look like? What do people need? What do people want? So there's a lot of work been going on behind the scenes in creating this plan, and I suppose as a lot of you will know, plans are very much about how do we deliver against it. What does the delivery look like? What do we do? So just to give you a bit of a flavour of some of the things, you may have seen in the press that recently the LEP secured about £15 million capital investment for the region. We're in the process of funding 6 fairly sizable projects, but out of them projects that we're funding, there will be 700 jobs created across the region that come from that investment. What else? We had to mobilise, like many. We had to move to home working, but part of that, we've set up a coronavirus hub on our website. It's seen well over 60 or 70,000 sort of visits, since March, which is, well above what we've ever seen in terms of engagement and people looking for support. Internally, we redeployed staff from our skills teams and from our investment teams into the frontline business support. We were taking numerous amounts of calls. We've launched several different funds, just to give you a bit of a flavour. So rural funding, where we've invested over £100,000 of grant funding into several projects. It's protecting and safeguarding about 120 jobs so far. There's an additional £500,000 that has now been ring fenced for future funding, certainly from businesses operating in the rural sector. Our crowdfunding project, we've funded over 80 businesses so far, around £180,000, again, grant funding. There is still more money left in that pot. The board ring fenced up to £600,000. So again, there should be some links coming in the chat that you could, we'd certainly welcome people coming forward. And we've launched loan funding as well since March. So we've at this point we've got loan funding approved of about £4.3 million going out the door to businesses. And on top of that, the staff have dealt with probably well over 6,000 to 7,000 business interactions, engagements of support since March as well. So we've been well at the forefront there.
Okay. So I think if I'm gonna try and second guess what some of the delegates are thinking. Okay, so prepare yourself, James. All those stats are great, but when push comes to shove, moving forward over the next 6 months, what's the best way for, if I'm an innovator or I'm an entrepreneur across the region, what's the best way for me to engage with you? How do I actually start a journey with the LEP to see if it can fundamentally support my business? Because we're all in it for the same reason. We're all here to try and get as many businesses and to try and keep that economy going. So what's the best way that they can engage with you guys, James?
So the best way, the thing that I try and promote is get in touch and have a conversation with us. Come and talk to us. We have a helpline as such, a phone number, an inquiry, but essentially we will speak with you. Depending on what you want, we will look at what you want. We will speak with you. We will take information that you have, what you're looking for, where you're trying to go to, and then a big part of our role is about just connecting you with the right people, the right type of support that's out there, whether that's delivered internally by ourselves, whether that's funding through the LEP, or whether that's funding through a different body. But our role is very much about connecting you and trying to make you, as business owners or entrepreneurs, make your life easier. We can do the groundwork for you. We can do the legwork in getting out there and finding the type of support and information that you need to move your business or your idea forward.
Okay, great. And I think it's worth. I mean, I was sat in a different meeting, a different group a couple of weeks ago, Creative Network South, and I listened to a story from one business owner that had gone through the process with the LEP, and that they had said, yeah, it is really hard to get that first step and to make sure you've got through that funding, but it's been 100% worth it. And as soon as they've done that, they've been supported every step of the way. And I know that within the delegation and people that we bump into within Venturefest, sometimes that first step seems to be a bit of a barrier. But now more than ever, it's worth getting in contact with the LEP and having a conversation with them and exploring their content. I can see that in the feed, the wonderful Sophie Taylor is rattling out links to specific funding opportunities. I'd say to everyone that's online, if you've got questions, you can ask Sophie online. You could ask her anything now, and James will be online as well. Because we do know it is sometimes, there does seem to be a barrier between organisations and innovators, and we're trying to break those down today. So, James, as you look ahead, you know, over the next sort of few months, how are you guys reading it in terms of what needs to happen on the ground? Because you've got some new pieces of support coming out, I think, as well. Is there something specific that you'd point the Venturefest delegation towards?
Yeah, there's a couple of things just to highlight, and again, we'd certainly welcome people to get in touch. So there will be an additional small grants program. You may have seen in the press around kind of kickstart your business or visitor economy. So it is a small grant funded program. It's European funding, but we won't go into the detail in that. Let us sort that for you. But that is available, and that's for businesses or organizations, individuals that have been impacted by COVID and that are looking to pivot, adapt, and move forward. So we have run a round one. We will be going out to a round two in the next couple of weeks. So Sophie might be able to post. We've got a page on the website where we're collecting expressions of interest. So register your interest, get in touch, and as soon as we go live, we will be in contact sending you that opportunity. We are just about to a peer-to-peer network as well. So a brand new project that we've not ran in the Solent before. It's a national rollout, so it's going to be happening all across the country. But small groups of businesses, business owners or senior managers, getting them together, looking at the challenges that they face. We will have facilitators running them sessions. It won't be us running them sessions. So we will be bringing in experts, facilitators to do that. And you can help each other solve problems in your business to help it move forward, grow, and take the next step.
James, we're over time, so I'm going to say go away. But I'm also going to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. And if you switch your camera off and wave goodbye to the delegation, there you go. We're now going to move forward in our event to the next speaker.